Hello, I'm Maura Carley, founder and president of Healthcare Navigation, and it's time we talked about the No Surprises legislation, which took effect January of 2022, which is some time ago, and that we haven't heard more about it suggests to us that there is a high level of compliance with this legislation, which is a good thing for consumers. So let's remind everyone of the purpose of this legislation. You know, it used to be you could be in an emergency situation and end up at an out-of-network facility, and those providers who treated you could charge you out-of-network rates. And that's not true anymore. One protection of this act is that in an emergency, should you be out of network, you are supposed to be obligated to pay the in-network co-insurance or co-payments. So that's an important protection. Another piece of this was the vexing problem of someone, let's give an example, having surgery scheduled with an in-network surgeon at an in-network hospital, only to find that the anesthesiologists were out of network and being charged out of network charges, and not having the protection that you have when you're in network. That is the issue. And similarly, in those instances, your obligation is supposed to be limited to the in-network member responsibility amounts. And most often, that issue was a problem with anesthesia, radiology, emergency department physicians, and even neonatologists, which was, pretty sad, because if you have a baby who needs a neonatologist, it's not the kind of environment where you're inquiring about network status. So let's move on. A couple of other points. Air ambulance, out-of-network air ambulance is also covered in this legislation, but not regular ground ambulance. And there was a certain amount of cynicism about that, but when you start reading about it, you see that Congress intentionally left out ground ambulance services, even though they are often a headache. So often the municipality is involved in providing these services. So, it's just much more complicated to regulate than these other types of providers. Again, we're hopeful that the silence about this whole matter suggests that there's a high level of compliance. It even helps the uninsured, because part of this legislation is that you are supposed to be able to get a statement of the charges and a good faith statement of services and charges that are reasonable. This legislation came about because of egregiously high charges, gouging people in these situations, which were beyond their control. In summary, we think this is good news. We believe providers are complying with this, and it's a good consumer protection. So just know about it, and thank you for listening. Take good care. Bye-bye.